Hi, and thank you for tuning in. Today we're reading from Bhagavad Gita, and it's chapter 15, text 15. We're going to read in line with our Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam principle, which is devotional service. Hearing and chanting is devotional service. I'll be chanting Bhagavad Gita verse 15:15, and you'll be hearing, and I'll also be hearing. The person that chants also hears. In this way we'll be performing devotional service to the Lord. Sarvasya chaham shrini sanivisto matasmitir jnanam apohanam cha vedaischa sarvair aham eva vidyo vedanta krit vedavit eva chaham. So Lord Krishna is speaking here, and he says, I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of Vedanta, and I am the knower of the Vedas. And then we read the purport by Srila Prabhupada. This is Bhagavad Gita as it is by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The Supreme Lord is situated as Paramatma in everyone's heart, and it is from Him that all activities are initiated. That's interesting. All activities are initiated by the Supreme Lord, who is situated as Paramatma, which means the Supreme Soul, in everyone's heart. We are situated in the region of the heart and our body, and the Lord is there accompanying us as well. And from Him all activities are initiated. He is giving us the energy to act. He is the cause of all causes. Sarva Karana Karanam. And He's giving us remembrance and forgetfulness. He gives us the intelligence to know what to do in all situations. The living entity forgets everything of his past life, but he has to act according to the direction of the Supreme Lord, who is witness to all his work. So we are eternal, means we were in existence even before we took birth in these bodies. And the Lord has accompanied us through all our births. And so He is giving us direction because He's witnessed all of our work. He's giving us our karma. We don't remember, but He remembers all the different births that we've had. And He is the overseer and permitter, Upadastra Anumantascha. He is giving us all the situations, all the circumstances, all the facilities, the intelligence that we need based on our past work. Overseer and permitter. He's permitting all things to happen, and He knows everything that we deserve, and He's making all the arrangements that we get all the things that we deserve. Therefore He begins His work according to His past deeds. The living entity begins his work according to his past deeds in this life. Required knowledge is supplied to him, and remembrance is given to him, and he forgets also about his past life. Thus the Lord is not only all-pervading, He is also localized in every individual heart. He awards the different fruitive results. Interesting point is that all living entities, meaning any being that is alive, the Lord accompanies that being. A plant, an animal, they all act according to the direction of the Lord. In animals it's called instinct, and in us it's called direction of the Lord. But with ordinary persons who are not trying to turn towards the Lord in devotional service, the Lord has a neutral relationship with them, and He simply gives them their what they are due. But with the devotees, the Lord takes personal interest and may reduce karmic reactions and give karmic reactions that are due in such a way that they can come closer to Him. In a personalized way, He gives them what they deserve. He awards the different fruit of results. He is worshipable not only as the impersonal Brahman, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the localized Paramatma, but as the form of the incarnation of the Vedas as well. So there are these different forms of the Lord. Impersonal Brahman, it's what we hear sometimes, God is light, God is love. It's an impersonal concept, God is energy. And everything is God's energy, so they're not wrong. But there's also other aspects of God. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, He was emanating this energy, which is called Brahman. Just like we emanate energy, God emanates energy. His energy is very wonderful, and our energy is very minute. And then the other aspect is the localized Paramatma, which is like an incarnation or another form of the Lord in everyone's heart. So the Lord has His own existence in the spiritual world as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and then He has expansions that go into every atom even in the universe and also in everyone's heart. So this is the Paramatma form of the Lord. So these three forms are there. But then also He is worshipped as the incarnation of the Vedas. The Vedas give the right direction to people so that they can properly mold their lives and come back to Godhead, back to home. The Vedas offer knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, and Krishna in His incarnation as Vedavyas is the compiler of the Vedanta Sutra. The commentation on Vedanta Sutra by Vedavyas in the Srimad Bhagavatam gives the real understanding of Vedanta Sutra. The Supreme Lord is so full that for the deliverance of the conditioned soul, He is the supplier and digester of foodstuff, the witness of His activity, and the giver of knowledge in the form of the Vedas. And as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, the teacher of the Bhagavad Gita, He is worshipable by the conditioned soul. Thus God is all good. God is all merciful. So all conditioned souls are equal, and they are all constitutionally lovers of God, whether the soul is in an animal, in a plant, and a human being. But in the human form of life, we have the opportunity to worship God and therefore perfect our lives as spirit souls. So this is the purpose of our life. Anta pravishta shasta jananam. The living entity forgets as soon as he quits his present body, but he begins his work again, initiated by the Supreme Lord. Although he forgets, the Lord gives him the intelligence to renew his work where he ended his past life. So not only does the living entity enjoy or suffer in this world, according to the dictation from the Supreme Lord situated locally in the heart, but he receives the opportunity to understand the Vedas from Him. If one is serious about understanding the Vedic knowledge, then Krishna gives the required intelligence. Why does He present the Vedic knowledge for understanding? Because a living entity individually needs to understand Krishna. Vedic literature confirms this. Yo sao sarvar vedair gyate. In all Vedic literature, beginning from the four Vedas, Vedanta Sutra and the Upanishads and Puranas, the glories of the Lord, of the Supreme Lord, are celebrated. By performance of Vedic rituals, discussion of the Vedic philosophy, and worship of the Lord in devotional service, He is attained. Therefore, the purpose of the Vedas is to understand Krishna. So here we understand how to attain the Supreme Lord. by performance of devotional service. If we please the Lord by devotional service to Him, then He can reveal Himself to us. We cannot understand God with our tiny brain, but God can reveal Himself to us by His mercy. And then we can understand, at least, that we can't understand Him. That's one aspect of understanding God, how great He is. But He can make Himself available to us by His mercy, and understanding of Him can get revealed to us within the heart by His mercy through pleasing Him. So this is what we need to do. So we need to find out what He wants us to do, how to please Him. So in this day and age, the religious process for this day and age that we're living in, the Iron Age, or Kali Yuga as it's known in the Vedas, the process is chanting the names of God. Harinama, Harinama, Harinama eva kevalam, kalo nasti eva, nasti eva, nasti eva gativanyata. In this age of Kali, there's no other way than to chant the names of God. No other way of deliverance. So, this is the Yuga Dharma, or the religious process for this age, and it is part of the mission of the Lord to propagate this Yuga Dharma and to reclaim the fallen souls in this material world. So, if we help the Lord in His mission, then He will be pleased with us. And when He's pleased with us, He will reveal Himself to us. And this way we can understand Him. And if we understand Him, if we become Krishna conscious, then we also become conscious of our real selves. We become self-realized by His mercy. So, in that way, we become very happy. Because the soul is eternally very happy. It's Sat Chit Ananda, three qualities of the soul. Eternal, full of knowledge and full of bliss. But we forget those qualities when we're in this material world and we become conscious of our bodies only and our material needs and wants and desires and aspirations and so forth. We get distracted and we have all these material desires when we are embodied. But the soul actually is full of bliss. So when we become Krishna conscious, we become self-realized, then we can become happy. Just like you can become conscious of the sun. When you see when the sun rises in the morning and you see the sun, you also see yourself. If you're out in the bundus, there's no other light around, you can't see yourself, only when the sun rises. So there's a nice analogy of how when you become God conscious, you become self-realized. So, devotional service, the mission of the Lord, helping the Lord in His mission, propagating the chanting of Hare Krishna and chanting ourselves, then we please the Lord. The Vedas give us direction by which to understand Krishna and the process of realizing Him. The ultimate goal is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vedanta Sutra 114 confirms this in the following words: Tat tu samvayat. One can attain perfection in 3 stages. By understanding the Vedic literature, one can understand his relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By performing the different processes, one can approach Him. And at the end, one can attain the supreme goal, who is no other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In this verse, the purpose of the Vedas, the understanding of the Vedas, and the goal of the Vedas are clearly defined. So the goal of all Vedic literature, of all scripture, of all knowledge, the goal of all knowledge is to understand God. So the process of chanting the names of God is to associate with God, because God is not different from His name. And this is the absolute nature of God, that God is not different from His name. So when we say the word Krishna, we are in Krishna's presence. So the process for attaining the goal, which we said is chanting the names of God in this day and age, the process for attaining the goal and the goal itself are the same. Because here we understand that the goal of all knowledge, the highest knowledge, is God. And by performing the process of of attaining God, we are already attaining God. Because when we chant the name of God, we are in God's presence. So we've attained God. But through the process of chanting, we gradually become purified and we realize more about God and that we are actually in the presence of God. Because we may be chanting the names of God and not really feel, at least fully, the presence of God. We are still conditioned, we're caught up in our own thoughts, our mind wanders, we have certain desires and this and that, so many things happen while we chant. So we're not fixed in that knowledge, we're not fixed in our consciousness and in our connection with God. But the process stays the same. In the beginning stages, we chant the names of God and we connect with God and we slowly become purified. In the perfected stage, we chant the names of God and we become completely blissful in full consciousness of God and full realization of our relationship with God and our real selves. So the process is very wonderful. So this verse here explains to us how the goal is actually God. All knowledge, the actual goal is God. So chant Hare Krishna, associate with God, and become perfect. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for tuning in. Subscribe to the channel or keep an eye out for more videos. And hear and chant with me. Hare Krishna.